Hi, welcome to cfwe Live Talk. I'm your one and only special guest. No, actually, I'm the special host.
Slumper Chaplain?
Yeah, Thumper Chapman. This little man right here with the two little shiny bald spots. See the two little shiny spots? That's where I polished them today. That's Mr. Dirty. We're going to continue our discussion.
Mr. Executive Dirty to you.
In his mind. We're going to continue a little bit of our topic that we talked about last week, and it's about cancer in churches. Actually, it's a spiritual cancer, and then we're going to go into a little different topic. And I was sitting here, we're talking that I was doing a little preview today on the Facebook, if you've caught that. A lot of y'all probably didn't because I was watching the sun come up as I was doing it. And I was talking about how I hear a lot of people in churches say, well, God called me, but nobody will let me do nothing. And I was explaining to them about when we started Christian wrestling, how the church world laughed at me, and the wrestling world laughed at me. And now, Christian wrestling is one of the number one top things in the United States now. And when they did this thing called Go Live on Facebook, I get a kick out of it because everybody says, oh, nobody will let me do nothing for God, but what's stopping you?
Nothing.
Yeah. They say, oh, God called me to preach. Okay. At what part of the Bible does it say you need a church?
You don't. Well, you should go to church. But
No, that's not what I said.
I need a church to preach in.
Exactly.
You don't.
You don't.
Not everybody's going to grace the pulpit.
Exactly. Yeah. Half the ones didn't understand what we was doing until it like a little bell went ding, 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 and they realized, we didn't need the pulpit to do it. Well, I didn't have to stand up there and sling snot and spit and everything else to get.
I
Yeah.
spit all the time when I was preaching.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about when we was doing the wrestling. We never had to sling spit and everything else, and we got our story.
Just each other.
Yeah, just each other. We sat behind a microphone while guys were wrestling, and we actually, did what we were supposed to do.
True.
And accomplished the same thing. Yeah. So it's not all about getting up on the pulpit, I try to tell them sometimes, a lot of things that I've noticed, and you tell me if you agree with me or not, I think a lot of things at times that hurts Christians when they go to witnessing is they witness too much.
Sometimes.
Yeah. They go through and they try to witness for an hour, and sometimes it only needs one word.
It's true. You can say bless you, and sometimes it makes somebody's day.
Exactly. You've seen this, several times to where people's actually did more harm than what they've actually done good.
Sometimes.
Yeah. And and I've seen a lot of preachers run people off the way they do things. Like for example, I've seen preachers that get so much into their beliefs to where they actually, I done bored him now. It's time to take it home. You gotta love cell phones. Yeah. That they actually get so much into their beliefs to where, they hurt their own preaching because, they turn to, to where they actually turn to where they're beating people over the head with the Bible. They take their beliefs and shove it down people's throat instead of just, planting the seed and letting God do the work.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have you seen that?
A lot.
I guess I'm getting yes and no answers today. So
Yeah, it's yes or no.
Yeah.
Some people think I talk too much.
Yes, he does talk too much. We all admit to that. Tell me about some of the stories that you've seen. No names, just stories.
I've been in places where actually sometimes I think that the minister actually did more harm than it helped because, being a minister, a lot of times I'll sit on the front pew because I'm not scared people to spit on me or whatever while it's the preacher's preaching. But, I sat in church and just sit there, and even during the song service, I'm sitting there going,
Yeah.
And then when it goes from the song service to the preaching, and I'm going, and I have to excuse myself or fall asleep, then, something's going on. The message isn't getting out like it needs to be. It's easy to, and I've just been in churches that have just went overboard with stuff.
Well, and and some people, they like the hard preaching. Some people don't like hard preaching. You know, me, I don't like the dead preachers, but I don't like the really hard preaching either. I like to kind of, I like for it to be interesting, but I don't want to sit there to where somebody never raises up above this tone of voice, and that's exciting to them.
Monotone.
Yeah, I can't stand that. But I also can't stand it where somebody's so far in the mic where that mic's shoved down their throat and I don't understand what they're saying either.
I've done that second part. I don't know about that.
A few times, yeah, you've got there, you get so, and what it is they get so excited, get so loud, to where you can't understand what they're saying.
Right.
So how
I'm anything but monotone.
how do you get, and this is my question, how do you get taught? Okay, because we know the Bible feeds us spiritually.
Right.
Okay, how do you get taught if you don't understand what they're saying?
Well, you don't really get anything out of it if you can't understand them, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
that's part of learning how to minister. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't really, for instance, I can't really teach somebody to preach.
No.
I mean,
no.
that's something that God obviously is gonna
That's like teaching somebody how to be
gonna use you through your call, and it doesn't matter how many cemeteries that you go to. You know, they're only going to teach you to talk on talk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But see, that's the thing about it is, I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't think God would ever be just a cold dead fish. I mean, being a Christian wasn't intended to be that way.
Well, that's
I try
like,
not to talk too much.
Well, that's like, we've seen a lot of guys that go to college, to, I guess, to teach. They learn theology, whatever. What's the big fancy word to use?
Theologians.
Yeah.
Being a theologian, being
Yeah.
a theologist, yeah.
Which I don't see nothing wrong.
That's why he's got me around the big words.
Okay, but when the Bible says study yourself,
To show thyself approved.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, because I couldn't get the word out. I don't think God was saying, "Hey, go to college,"
It wasn't that easy.
because they didn't have college back in those days. But he did. He did mean study the word.
They had neology.
Well, yeah, but that's a whole different topic on that one. But he's talking about studying the Bible.
Right.
Yeah, he didn't say nothing about you had to have 5 or 6 degrees in church to get up there to be able to minister.
Right. It's not all about the degrees
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
You can have all the degrees in the world and still not be a preacher. I mean, I've seen that too many times.
Well, we know a lot of preachers that has a lot of book knowledge, but they ain't got no common sense.
And basically, they're teachers. But
Exactly.
what I was getting at is, and if you don't mind, Thumper.
Go ahead.
I don't want to interrupt you, but a lot of times you're walking God. If it's, let me put it this way: God ain't an old drab dead God.
No, he's not.
If it doesn't excite you to go to church, or when you're at church, or you're excited about the message or the song service or something like that, there's something wrong.
That's something, right?
Because, the Bible says, happy are the people whose God is the Lord.
Exactly.
And if you're not happy where you're at, I'm not telling you to bug out of your church. That has to be God that tells you that. But if you're not happy there and you're not getting fed and you don't feel like you're where God needs you to be and you're not getting nothing out of it, then you need to go where you're going to be fed. That's just the bottom line.
Well, you brought up a very good point, and I got to go there for a second.
Who's going there?
Happy in church.
Happy in church.
Okay, if you're not happy in church, something's not right.
You're not in the right spot.
Exactly. If you go to 10 different churches and you're still not happy in them churches, maybe you need to check inside, not on the outside.
It could be that it's very well not the church. It could be the person.
Yeah, because I see a lot of people, okay, we're just going to go there, okay? You can't go to church and get drunk every Sunday.
Nope.
Can't go to church and smoke your dope,
Nope.
joke your rope, and everything else. It don't work. You can't ride the fence, bottom line.
The Bible says, be ye hot or be ye cold, lest ye be lukewarm, and I spew you out of my mouth.
Exactly.
So in other words, God don't want somebody lukewarm.
Exactly, yeah. And that's like, I sit there, and now we're going to go to jump into the next topic, because we were sitting there talking about, people that's divorced. I'm divorced, you're divorced, Miss Tanya's divorced. I mean, me and Tanya.
They're married.
We're still married.
They've been divorced.
But we've been divorced.
I'm still divorced.
For
all you single ladies out there.
And oh yeah, and I'll make sure I polish his head up real shiny for you.
And he'll display my phone number at the bottom of the screen.
Exactly, yeah. We'll just put it, we'll have Bullfrog just put this little line around us, and Mr. Dirty's phone number is,
BR549.
But
only call if you're serious.
And and I'm sitting there, and I hear this a lot, and
single.
And it's always bothered me.
I don't want married women.
Yeah, really, yeah, because that's a whole different topic you don't want to go to. You don't want to be in live talk having to discuss about that.
And running around the camera because there's some married man chasing you.
Exactly, yeah. I don't do bodyguard service no more.
Well, you might.
But I've heard a lot of people saying, "Oh,
a body like this, you'd have to guard."
They say, God put us together. God come through and He chose this mate for me. Then 6 months later, getting divorced.
I would be long in considering getting married because I would want to make sure that it was the right one.
Exactly. God's not going to put something together.
Not to say that my previous marriage wasn't, because we enjoyed 37 wonderful years, and we didn't part as enemies. We parted as good friends.
But 6 months later, there's a problem there. And if you've been married for 4 times, okay,
or 5,
or 5 times, you might want to check on the inside.
Maybe it's not your husband.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it's not your ex-husband or your ex-wife.
Exactly. And I know people that's been married 6, 7 times.
Just because you want a stray piece of tail, and I'm just putting it like it is,
exactly,
doesn't mean you got to get married. And I'm not saying to go out and say that. I can say whatever I want.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You don't know where I'm at right now. But anyway, that's no reason to get married and then get divorced just because you want a piece of tail, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, there's such thing as refraining yourself and controlling yourself.
And I've seen people do that. They'll run off and get married, jump in the sack, get their whoopee on, and then 2 days later say, you know what? I want a divorce.
Or 3 or 4 months down the road say, I think I jumped into this prematurely.
Yeah.
Well, no, there's only a few things that are premature, and that's babies and ejaculation.
Yeah. But 4 months before that, God was the one that put them together. I'm sorry, God wasn't in on that one. Yeah. And me, anybody knows, Thumper knows, I don't give a rat's butt who I make mad, That's just always been me. Mr. Dirty's the same way.
Pretty much.
Because the ones in Haiti and Switzerland and Finland and Michigan and North Carolina and every other, they're still going to be watching this because
50 states, I don't know how many countries.
Exactly. And they've still watched this. They've watched this for years. That's why my family complained because they can't go to Wachovia Bank and catch a check.
One of our brothers happened to do that.
Without.
Aren't you Thumper Chapman's brother?
Exactly. Yeah. So losing a few hundred people ain't
going to hurt. You looked at him and said, "Why, sweetly."
But exactly, yeah. But you cannot go. If you want to just go out and run around with somebody and go jump in bed, use protection. Go do it. Don't put God in the middle of it. That's so annoying.
Well, that is kind of fornication.
But still, they're going to do it.
You're actually telling these people it's okay to go fornicate.
No, it's not okay to fornicate. But what I'm saying, it's not okay to go get married, jump in bed, and get divorced 4 months later just because you want to go to bed with somebody. You're still breaking.
You basically done 2 things.
Exactly.
Which is the worst of 2 evils, I guess you could
exactly.
say.
That's
fornication or adultery, because if you divorce them, and you don't really have grounds for divorce, then you've actually caused them to commit adultery.
Exactly.
Which is what the Bible says.
And that's what I'm saying. You can't justify one sin with 2 more sins.
Right. You can't.
You can't.
Sin is sin.
Exactly.
There's no such thing as a little sin, guys, just as such you don't know, and a big sin.
Yeah.
They're just identical.
It reminds me of back when we were growing up, the little old women that would go to church on Sunday, but say the little cuss words here and there, they didn't think they were doing wrong.
Oh, I got a joke.
Yeah. Oh, Lord help us.
There was these 2 old women sitting up there, and they were sitting up there on about the first or second row. First row. There was 2 little old women sitting there, and the preacher's preaching, saying, "All you people that drink alcohol, you got to go to hell." And she says, "Amen, brother." "And all you people that smoke cigarettes, you going to go to hell." "Amen, brother." "All you people that dip snuff, you going to go to hell." "Amen, brother." "And all you people that gossip, y'all going to go to hell." And that one little lady looked over at the other lady and just said, he done quit preaching, went to meddling.
Yep, that's about right.
Got another one though, real quick. And there was this preacher was talking to this lady, and he said, He said, you know, because she dipped snuff, and back in the older days they used to. And he was talking to her, and she said, you know, he said, you're going to go to hell for dipping that snuff. And she said, really? She said, yes. She said, well, Pastor, do you drink? No. Pastor, do you smoke? No. Pastor, do you commit adultery, anything like that? No. He said, I said, answer my question. Well, where are you going to spit that? She said, wait. She says, Pastor, do you drink coffee? Well, of course I drink coffee. She said, well, he said, but that's besides the point. Where are you going to spit that snuff when you get to heaven? You can't spit it on the golden streets of gold. She looked at him with a big old toothless grin and said, in your coffee cup.
Yeah, I remember hearing that when I was a kid.
Yeah, I'll tell you one about the bird dog one day.
But yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. You know, is there's things out there that people do. You know, and the Bible says, "What's the darkness will come to light."
Right.
And I see a lot of preachers out there. You know, they're up on the pulpit and they're preaching, they're spitting, they're snorting, they're slinging snot, and got the mic shoved down. And I'm sitting there and I watch them sneak around the back. They go smoke cigarettes, or they start cussing, or they're going running around with such wife. And I'm sitting there going, "And you're going to kick me off of the stage for dipping snuff?" Yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Or you're going to sit there and you're going to condemn your people for sinning, and you're doing the same thing.
Right.
You know, what are you teaching? What are you teaching your congregation? You know, this is a cancer I see. You know, I see preachers out there to where they're money hungry. They're lusting after money. You know,
or they follow the money.
Or they follow the money. They don't care. They don't care about the congregation. They're all about the money. They're all about the big top hairs.
I've been in churches too. Thumper, not to interrupt you, and I apologize.
You're fine.
To where if you didn't have money, you weren't going to do this with the pastor.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You weren't going to rub shoulders with the pastor. You were just kind of pushed back over here in a little section. And then if you did do anything in the ministry, it would be something that nobody would recognize.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've seen churches, and this is going to blow your mind. If you want a meeting with the pastor, if you want to talk to pastor for counseling, they actually looked at your tithes and see how much tithes you paid.
Some do. Some send you bills for
Yeah.
tithes. I've seen churches that sent you a bill for your tithes. I'm like, how do you know how much?
Before you talk to the pastor, or I got one for you. You work for the church, and they automatically deduct your tithes.
Yeah.
For the church.
Automatically.
Automatically.
It's right there below that line that says federal income tax and social
church
security.
Church tithes.
Church tithes.
Wow.
Say what?
And see, I don't believe in paying tithes to a church.
You have now brought home $5.69.
And I just heard about 1,000 people go, what? Yeah. I actually go and I find the widows, or I find somebody in need, and that's who I pay my tithes to. Because churches have become so money hungry to where I will not give my tithes to churches no more. You know, I've found so many people in need of food. I mean, matter of fact, I know a lady right now that her kids, they had lost their husband, and they were hurting so bad where they couldn't even pay their bills or buy groceries. And I actually took our tithes for that week and actually went down and gave them to them, which allowed them to buy school clothes for their kids, you know, groceries, you know. I mean, the kids actually had new shoes for school. And I'm sitting there, why am I going to hand it to a preacher that's going to take it? That I'm going to go there. I ain't going to go easy on nobody today. Today's a good day to get hard on everybody. That's going to take it and go pay for his brand new car, or take his wife out to dinner, or you know, exploit the money. You know, I think that's a good word, ain't it? Exploit. Is that the word I'm looking for? Exploit. Like his candy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Put on a big show.
Exactly. When I can actually take it and use it for somebody, you know, that can use it and need it. Yeah. For example, I think we did a live talk back a long time ago about feeding the needy. Yeah. Do you remember that episode? That was like back in like a second episode we did.
Yeah, that was way back then.
That was way back there. And
that's just before I was gone for a while.
Oh yeah, yeah. And they didn't realize how many kids right here in the United States are starving every day.
Right.
They're like, well, you know, you're a USA citizen, you should eat. Now, let me explain something to you. And I'm gonna apologize to the people out of the United States for what I'm getting ready to say, and you know me, it's not what it's gonna sound. I see foreigners going to the store and spending $5 grand on food.
Mm-hmm.
Name brand stuff, living high on the hog, and I see our American children starving on a daily basis.
Well, I got a statistic for you. And
Yeah.
most of y'all probably, and some of y'all even have school kids, and it may not be going on with you, but I worked for a large organization that provided food for a lot of the
I thought you were going to say fertilizer.
fertilizer. No, actually they were done as fertilizer. But anyway, and they provided food for a lot of the little food pantries that give out food. But I also found out because we started giving out food to the schools in our area for what they call a backpack program. And I didn't realize until they started teaching us about the backpack program that between 60 and 70% of the children that go home don't have food from Friday evening or Friday after their lunch until Monday morning when they come back to school. And they developed the backpack program, and they would put food in it for the kids. Little things like beanie weenies and peanut butter and jelly and crackers and boxes of macaroni and cheese, but they'd always put extra in there because they knew that there were kids at home that were also doing without food. So it's a really good program.
Yeah, yeah.
That particular food bank is closed down in Polk County, and I'm not sure that there's even a backpack program in Polk County still, but it saddens me to know that there's that many hungry children out there, and now if there is no program like that, and I'm not saying there's not because I don't know, because I don't work for that organization anymore, but it's sad that if that's the case, then, why aren't we addressing that? Why are we letting children, like that, little kids, and I'm not talking about illegal aliens or anything like that, because a kid is a kid.
Yeah.
Whether he's illegal alien, whether he's white, black, red, yellow,
green with big head,
green
big
with
hair.
and big eyes, alien, I don't care. No child should ever be left without food.
Well, and you brought up a good point, because when we was in North Carolina, we lived up there for a short time. I had only found one food bank in 4 counties.
Far and few between, the farther north that you get.
And they would only help the ones in that county.
I was in Oklahoma, and they'll only help people within a 12-mile radius.
But here's what they had to do. Every so often, there would be an elementary school that would do a, I'm trying to think what they call it. It was a food. It was
food drive?
Yeah, they would do a food drive. So for 1 month, they could help families in need. Now, if you've never been in the snow, okay, it's easy to go hungry because you just don't get out for weeks and weeks at a time.
Sometimes you don't.
And when we first moved up there, it just so happened that my youngest son was going to this particular elementary school. And they asked me, they said, "Did you go grocery shopping?" And I'm like, "Well, no, I don't even know where the grocery store is." They loaded my car down so heavy, okay? I mean, we had every kind of canned good, every kind of chip, soda, you name it, that when we actually did find the grocery store to go shopping in.
Didn't need anything?
Not well. I double stocked up. But we was actually, the weeks that we couldn't get out, because we only had one vehicle, our other vehicle stayed down here in Florida with our other house. We actually survived through the whole winter and really didn't have to go nowhere.
Well, here's the funny thing about it, for the sand sparrows that don't know, really haven't ever experienced snow, they will go through inside the city limits, they'll salt the roads. They don't salt the side roads. Or if you're out in a rural area, they'll only do any main drag that's down there. And they'll salt those roads so the ice and snow gets off of it. But if you live back down a side road, say 15 miles, you're just out of luck.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to stay icy and it's going to stay snowy until either it gets warm enough to thaw it out or spring thaw comes first, whichever comes first.
And you know what's funny? The road that we lived on had this big old hill that went down and then back up.
Yep.
And guess what? That road didn't get taken care of.
It was the back up that hurt you because you couldn't get back up. Once you got down, you wouldn't get back up.
Yep. And
sounds like Oklahoma.
oh yeah, yeah. That's why when Miss Tanya went to work, she was stuck in a hotel for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And just luckily, there was cops that come by every so often, and they had snow chains, so they would actually see if anybody needed to go to the store. My oldest boy come by, and he actually, since he had 4-wheel drive, he come by, stayed with us, so we had a way to get out if we had to.
Mm-hmm.
Because if not, I would have had me and my 2 boys bundled up with 3 dogs walking through the snow to get somewhere where we could go. Yeah, and that's even dangerous too, because
and God forbid if you had a habit, because you wasn't going to feel that
oh
habit.
oh yeah.
You had to stock up on your habit too.
Oh yeah, exactly. Because you just you figure you're walking 15 miles from the back of nowheres.
You won't walk 15 miles. You'll die before you get there.
Exactly. Yeah. So you're just pretty much stuck, and they had a tendency of power going out and stuff like that.
Your name ain't Thumper Man, Mountain Man Thumper.
Exactly. Yeah. But this is things we're talking about. Is feeding people. The churches have lost that a lot. They don't have the giving no more. It's all me anymore.
Well, a lot of your food pantries even closed down, and
oh yeah.
and so they're not. It's like a double whammy. They're not feeding them spiritually,
Yep.
and they're not feeding them physically too.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
where does that leave people that don't have anything? Because not everybody can get food stamps, regardless of thing. Not anybody, not just anybody. Everybody can get them.
Exactly. Yeah. And one thing that's been bothering me is, as I was talking about, thinking about one of our brothers, he had to go for a custody battle, 2 or 3 years ago, I guess it was.
So, a few years ago.
And it was bad. It was a bad battle. And it should never be like that. I've always believed, and me and Miss Tanya's always talked, that if we ever got divorced, we was going to have what we call joint custody. Yeah, so the kids could pick and choose.
Wow, man, look at that kid.
Yeah.
It's the joint, so we got custody.
Yeah, so that way the kids could choose where they wanted to go to.
Oh, not that kind of joint.
No. And I don't understand why the parents have to downgrade each other so bad, especially in front of kids.
True.
To try to say, oh, I want this kid. Now, I can understand if you're being abused by your spouse and your kids were being abused.
Well, we could be all over the place for this, couldn't we?
Oh, yeah. That's why I say these are some good topics, And, I just want to kind of touch on a few of them. You shouldn't, they wonder why the world is the way it is. Well, look what the parents are doing.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, you're downgrading each other in front of your kids. Okay, right here, you done taught them, okay, well, Mama treats Daddy like garbage, so we'll treat Mama and Daddy like garbage.
I got something to say when you get done with
Oh,
that.
go ahead, yeah.
This is a thought, man. It was a Christian person that brought this thought to my mind. And it's funny that Thumper talked about it, but we were standing there talking. I was at a place picking up something that, for my ex-wife that belonged to her, and I was talking to this lady, and we got talking about marriage and stuff. And first of all, I'm going to pick on you guys for a second. Guys, I want you to think about this. If you've got kids at home, and some of them are boys, how you treat your wife is the example that you're setting for your boys to treat anybody. Because this woman was talking about how bad her husband treated us, and she said out of 6 kids, she said of all kids to start turning bitter and acting like her ex-husband, it was her 9-year-old son. Okay? So we have to be careful what we do, because we're leading an example for our young men.
Mm-hmm.
And for you women, now we're going to pick on you for a minute, since I know y'all watch this just as well as anybody else. Y'all just love this flowing thin hair of Thumper Chapman's.
Hey, he used to be long and blonde at one time.
The example that you set, how you talk to your husband, how you treat your husband, is setting the standard for how you're teaching your daughter to treat her husband.
Exactly.
So, husbands, it's how you teach your son to treat their wives. Mm-hmm. Is how you are treating your wives. So, be wise and be cautious. Wives, watch how you're treating your husband is setting the precedence of how you're going to your daughters might treat their future husbands. So, we have to be real careful with that. It's a lot in teaching and stuff, and we're stewards of our children.
Oh yeah. Because that's what's wrong with a lot of these children nowadays. You want to know what's wrong with children? Look at yourselves. you are teaching the kids to how to believe, how to act, what to think, you're teaching it. Okay, we'll go. You're teaching them how their nutrition diet is.
We're going everywhere today.
Oh, we're going everywhere today. I'm just touching on some of these topics because these topics are going to come flowing over the weeks to come.
Thumper might be childrenless after today. Okay?
Yeah, probably.
Just so you know, if you see the camera move or you hear bumps and bangs and doors
because
open,
they're doing all kinds of stuff with camera, and
so
I don't like that.
We're just going to choke them down after we get done.
But
Really.
you've raised kids. I've raised kids.
I've grown, I know.
And we've watched. I mean, even though we don't agree with a lot of how they treat their kids.
I don't even agree with how some of my kids discipline.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you cannot be friends with your kids. Sorry, it just don't work. You're a parent first.
I have a friend in all my children.
I tell everybody that's why I got a dog, to have a friend. Yeah, I don't need my children as my friends.
We have to tie pork chop bone around the neck, dog food with them. So.
But and that's the thing. That's the problem. Too many parents try to give their kids stuff that they didn't have, instead of them earning them, or they're trying to be friends with their kid. It don't work, maybe 1 out of 1,000 might work like that.
It's more not than does.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you get that one unusual child that, it works with, but then for the most part, no.
So, number one thing, if you go into divorce, do not dish on each other. Don't happen. Don't do it. Yeah.
Because you're setting an example.
Exactly. Watch what you tell your kids. Watch how you treat your kids. Watch how you act around your kids.
Watch how you treat your wife or your husband.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of watch what.
Do what? I'm sorry, the cameraman just totally sidetracked me for a second about
me too, because I looked too. So if you see my flip flop come off and fly across through there,
so
and you hear
and we're getting ready to bring Billy McLeod and his wife on live talk. So we're going to actually be going to Leesburg maybe next Wednesday. I think it was next Wednesday.
And you didn't know.
Yeah.
Live talk is on the road.
Oh yeah, it's all over.
We're going on the road.
We're going to finish up an episode that we did back in the earlier days, how Billy McLeod, had done drugs and got put in jail, and how it caused the effect.
We'll bring him up to speed that day.
Yeah, did affect his family and kids. I mean, it was really awesome in a live talk. But one of the things, all I can say is today, is love and care for one another. You talk about there's no love left in the world. It all starts with one person.
You.
Exactly.
That's like the power of one. If one person does the right thing, then it starts an avalanche of people doing the right thing.
Exactly. And I promise our next episode will be live on YouTube. So you need to go look us up on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, because we'll be doing live talk live on YouTube. I just had to get my youngest son to go in there and set it up. It says something about it takes 24 hours. Okay, I am very computer illiterate.
I'm not so much. I'm in college, so I can't be illiterate.
Yeah, so I'm going to have him go
Stupid, maybe not illiterate.
and set it up so that way we can go straight live. And, and then we can, still share it to Facebook for the ones that don't go on YouTube, the ones that still try to watch it off Facebook or they don't want to watch the live stream aspect.
Right. So they have the ability to do both.
Yeah. We'll have the ability to do about 3 or 4 different things right there. So you can live stream, or if you can't watch it live stream, you can go back and watch it, the video later on. Or if you just happen to be cruising through Facebook and spot it, and there it is.
Sure.
And, we're trying to set it up to where people can watch
it from
from
two different directions.
Exactly, all different directions.
And we might actually set it up somewhere on one of these other accounts, somewhere along the line, if we can.
Exactly,
As time goes by.
Oh yeah. As time goes by and the studio gets set up and everything, we'll send it more different directions. And if somebody wants to sponsor us, we'll take sponsors. I mean, I love donations because that'll help us get our studio up and going.
Right.
Because right now we're looking at about $5,000 to get our studio completely up and running.
And that's one of the things I was mentioning. We're in this process of building our studio,
Yes.
so you're not going to hear a lot of the background noise once we get it built. And And we'll be sitting there talking to you probably from a desk or a table.
Well, yeah. Well, I want to do like a big table with chairs around it, so we can actually like a dinner table. So,
Yeah, well, I don't want 15 people there, though.
Well, no, I don't want to be like 3 or 4 chairs.
I mean, you don't want a confusion because you get, it gets crazy. You get like a bunch of people there. It's like 20 people trying to talk at once. And it's bad enough him trying to talk with just me here.
Well, that's why we have a body cam where he can run around the table 20 times. Of course, he might tie us up in cords, but you know. But that's what we're looking for. You know, we want to take it more of a professional, get it out of the house, get it in the studio.
Right.
You know, to where we ain't got kids running in and out, dogs barking. You know, cats meowing. You know. Cars running by, you know.
Has he breathed yet since we started this program?
Nope, not much. But, all right, that's our show for today. I hope y'all liked it. I know it was short, you know, a few topics. You know, I wanted to kind of finish up some of the stuff that we was talking about last week. Next week, we're going to start some new topics. You know, well, we're going to actually backflow, and there'll be some wrestling in there, too, next week. So, you know, so we've got some promoters coming up that we're going to be doing live talk with some new federations. Well, I mean, they're older guys, but they've started new federations, and some of those Christian federations. And we've got some coming up to where
we're actually going to be at a live wrestling show.
Yes, we'll be doing some live wrestling.
We'll be doing live talk from a live wrestling show.
So we'll actually have live wrestlers coming on, and we'll be doing live talk with them. So I mean, there's a lot of things coming out, and then, you know, we're going to be bringing our gospel group on live talk too, and playing some live music.
See, we do a lot of things. We're not just Christian family wrestling entertainment.
If he says Christian family again, I'm gonna smack him. It's Championship Family Wrestling Entertainment.
I don't have a clue. He just says CFW, and I'm like,
CFW is Championship Family Wrestling Entertainment.
It's all good. I'm old. I got.
It is not all about.
I can plead the fifth and say, hey, I got senior citizens.
And no, for everything everybody wonders, CFW is not just a wrestling federation. It is actually
we do a lot of different stuff.
A production company. We produce wrestling. We produce music.
We produce talk shows.
Yes, we produce.
We don't produce children anymore.
We produce. I mean, I'm trying to set up to do movies.
I mean, we could produce children, but we prefer not to.
Exactly. Yeah. Kids are aggravating.
Yeah, who knows them things? They smell.
Oh yeah. When you start trying to put kids in videos and movies and, you know, trying to do music.
We're actually going to, and this is something, guys, to look for in the near future. The name of our group that's with our production is called Revelation Wind. Wind.
I like wind.
No on the end of it. Yeah, you act like a confused fart sometimes. But anyway, we're going to do a video, and it's going to be a video. It's not just going to be people standing there, you know, just playing music and singing. So
it's actually going to be a music video.
It's actually going to be a music video production. So we look to put it out in the very near future, and we've got a lot of mixing going on. We've got our mixer board and stuff like that. So, and our video camera. So I think it's going to be really good. It's something to look forward to, and keep asking Thumper about when it's coming out.
Oh yeah.
Because if you keep asking him, you're going to keep pushing him, and then you're going to have to get it.
And understand, the donations actually help us get more equipment, better cameras.
Helps us get production sites.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they don't give you production sites. They just don't do it.
Oh, yeah.
Places to go produce a video.
And like you know, somebody asked about, you know, photos. You know, photos ain't free. Yeah, I mean, to get them professionally done, they're not free. I mean, it's not like back in the day, you know, when we were, in the ring, you know, we had a camera person on hand at all times that took our pictures. It's not like that no more.
And it's not paying for Thumper's dreadlocks.
No.
Nothing like that. Everything that is donated to CFWE is exclusively for. Matter of fact, if you donated,
you actually got it right.
And you write on. I actually could have got it right 10 minutes ago. I just chose not to. But anyway, everything that you donate, if you want to donate and to go to a specific thing, you can write on it. Music video.
Exactly.
Group production.
Exactly.
Live talk. Whatever you put.
Yes.
on there towards that's exactly
And
what
it is a non-profit organization.
So if you choose at the end of the year and you say, hey, I want a receipt on that so I can file all my taxes,
Yep. Let me know and we'll figure out how to do
look
it.
to him, for he only
Yeah.
does taxes for
Because
the
I'm always used to
lonely.
doing my own taxes. So.
So,
Yeah, so I had to take it to the tax
him
person.
and Mr. Man and the woman,
Yeah.
not me.
Well, I hope it's a man and a woman.
Well, that's big questions about you sometimes.
Well, yeah. Especially when I had
I'm
long
joking,
blonde
man.
hair and the earrings hanging down. There were a lot of questions about that
He
one.
had
so.
a couple of funny looking guys
Oh,
looking
yeah,
at him saying, new
yeah.
baby.
So, yeah. And I'm actually going to have some, and understand, everything when our guests are on, just because we're covering our topic, doesn't necessarily, that is the beliefs or the way we think, about some
they're not
topics.
the beliefs of CW, necessarily the beliefs of CFWE.
Yes. Because we are going to have some contradictory
Contradictory things.
things come on.
See, that's why he got me on here.
Yeah.
There's an interpreter.
Because I think they need to be brought out.
I speak fluent hillbilly.
Yeah, and but just because we bring it out don't mean I believe exactly the same way they believe.
Right,
Yeah.
no, exactly.
But I'm not going to throw my beliefs out there because somebody had asked me, says,
How do you believe?
somebody asked me, said, Thump, said, why don't you get different hosts to come in? Because it's hard to find somebody that does not press their beliefs or put their opinions in on everything.
Unbiased people is what
Exactly,
you're looking for.
yeah.
People that don't have a biased opinion about things.
Now, see, like this, we can because this is all about us.
Right, and
Yeah.
we're brothers anyway, so
Exactly.
it's nothing for us to disagree on everything.
Exactly, yeah. So,
But
but
he
all
might
right,
say the sky's red, and I'll say it's blue.
if you ain't got nothing else to say,
Absolutely ran out of words.
all right,
Not
guys. All right. I hope y'all enjoyed the CFWE Live Talk. Tune in next week with us. I'll hit y'all somebody up on. I'll hit it up on Facebook and let y'all know when when it's going to be out. And everybody, God bless. Take care of each other. Have a good night.
Peace.
I think it's stopped. I don't know.
Let me check just in case.
It says recording stopped.
Did you stop it?
I clicked the red button.